Hey guys, Gina with Sidewalk Talk. Today, I'm with Jeannie.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good.
How have you been? We've
Good.
literally known of each other for at least over a year.
Yeah.
And we finally met each other in real life.
Yay.
So you just recently moved to Los Angeles.
Yeah, I moved here about a year ago. I've been pretty busy the whole time.
Yeah.
Just working on music and playing shows and touring and all that fun stuff.
What do you love about LA compared to New York? Because you grew up in New York, right?
Yeah, so I grew up upstate, but then I lived in Brooklyn for a few years. I just like that LA is more slow-paced. I'm a very slow-paced person. So I just like being able to get in my car and go where I need to go and not be on the subway with a billion people.
Right.
And the weather's good, obviously. So
what were your favorite things to do in New York?
Honestly, I went to what is the venue called? Avant Gardner, every weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, since when? When was your first time going there?
I don't know. Probably within the first few months of living there, and then I would just go there all the time.
Yeah.
And just eating bagels.
And just eating bagels?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that sounds like the life.
Yeah.
What was your favorite bagel spot?
I don't know. I honestly would usually just go to the bodega. Because those are good too.
What were you listening to when you were growing up?
Once I got past the phase of Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls.
Backstreet Boys and Spice Girls.
Yes. Those were my
classics.
jams.
We're just gonna walk back and forth.
Okay. So once I got a little older, I got into more metal and emo stuff.
Ooh. What?
I mean, I still listen to the same bands I listened to when I was a teenager. So Paramore, Panic at the Disco.
Oh my god.
Kind of
Were you and your friends listening to that music together?
Not so much. I think it was more of if I had my iPod or you know, I would listen to it. And then once I got into college, I got into dance music, and then me and all my friends would go to different raves together and festivals.
Oh, that's kind of when you started going to raves in college.
Yeah.
Oh, what was your first show?
Ooh, I think it was a Dr. P show. Which was actually in high school.
What?
Yeah, crazy. I have a really vague memory of it, and I could be completely making it up. But I think that was my first show. And then, I don't know.
Yeah. What were your parents listening to?
So my mom doesn't really listen to music, weirdly enough.
Really?
Yeah. She doesn't.
She never listened to music when you were
No. Yeah, but my dad listened to the Eagles and a lot of
the classics.
Yeah, the classics.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's probably where I got my musical vibes from. But
do you think that's where you got your creative side?
I don't know.
Does anyone in your family do any art related things?
Weirdly, no.
Really? So you're the only kind of the creative one in the family?
Yeah, which is weird.
What did they think about that?
At first I think they didn't really understand it. When I first wanted to get into it, I kind of bought all my equipment myself and everything and taught myself. And then now I think they definitely understand it more. They came to one of my shows and were this is so cool, and had a great time. So yeah, now they're definitely more into it than they were before.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, what were you studying in college and stuff? What did they see you doing? Or those parents are oh, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah.
You know?
No, those are my parents.
Those are your parents?
Yeah. My parents are from Russia, so I'm first generation. Yeah, so they were very you have to be a doctor, and I did do pre-med for a year.
You did?
Yeah.
Yo, that's so hard.
And it was brutal.
That's so brutal. Did you finish college?
Yeah, I finished with, I ended up doing business administration with a minor in marketing, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you didn't end up going down the pre-med route?
No.
which is good. 'Cause that thing, oh my gosh, I started in pre-med too.
No way!
I'm like, no, thank you. I
it's
switched that so
hard.
fast.
Same.
Yeah, it's just too hard. And the labs and like all that other stuff. I'm just like,
You need to like really be into that.
yeah, you really do. What was your favorite subject in school?
Anything creative, really. Like when I was in high school, I always loved like photography and like art-based classes, even though I wasn't very good at it. And then in college, I mean, I wasn't a great student to be honest, but anything that was like more creative and not super by the book.
Yeah. How did you get into music production?
It was weird. So when I was in college, I worked at a restaurant and bar, and one of my friends there was a DJ. So he kind of just taught me how to DJ. It's like a fun little thing. And I just became obsessed with it. And I was like, well, if I like DJing, I want to learn how to produce because I want to be able to play my own music.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so
Good
then
for
I
you.
just like, started learning and got obsessed with that too. And here we are.
How did you first get into like producing your own music?
A lot of YouTube tutorials and just trial and error. Like I would just sit there for hours and make the worst music ever, and eventually it just started getting less worse.
Oh,
So,
wow, good for
yeah.
you. Like, how long did it take you to the point where you're like, okay, I'm pretty confident in producing music?
So I think it took a couple of years for me to make music that I didn't think was complete garbage. And then after maybe 4 years, I was like, okay, I kind of actually know
4
what
years?
I'm doing. Yeah. It took a
Wow.
while.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
What's like the best piece of music production advice that you have?
It would be to focus on what you're bad at, because you can focus on what you're good at as much as you want, but you won't improve until you work on what you're not so great at. And then you won't get stuck in a rut of making kind of music that all sounds the same, and you'll get out of your comfort zone. And a good way to do that too is by just working on different genres. So yeah, I think that was probably the best advice I've ever been given, at least.
And what's your favorite plugin?
I basically exclusively use Serum for all my sound design. I've tried other ones, but I just always go back to Serum. I really like Little Alter Boy for like vocals and other just kind of effects on random sounds. And then yeah, those are kind of my go-to.
Oh, sorry. I'm just like slowly walking you like into the trees. What do you want to be remembered for?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
That's a deep question. I love this question though.
I think honestly, I just want to be remembered for being a good person and making the music industry just a better place.
Aw, in what way? Like, why do you say that?
I think just with like all the girl gang stuff and how much I push for equality,
Yes.
I want to just kind of leave a lasting impact so that like once I'm not in the music industry anymore, it's a more welcoming and just equal place for people.
Kind of like expanding on Girl Gang. Amazing. The fact that you started that, like that's crazy. Like what made you start Girl Gang?
So initially it was just going to be production workshops because there wasn't anything like that, especially for just like women. And once I kind of started thinking about that, I was like, well, there isn't really a group for people anyways. Like when I was starting out, it was like such a male dominated industry. And it's like these guys like all have like all these like Discord groups where they like share like samples and plugins and like all of this stuff that just like women didn't have. So I wanted just to create like a community. Is that just a foot? I just wanted to create a place where like women and non-binary people had their own kind of community where we could share like resources and lift each other up. And yeah.
And how has that been like as far as like starting that?
It's been really amazing. I mean, just from where it started to where it is now and seeing how much people have grown is like so rewarding. And I mean, I never started it to help myself, but it's just helped me become more inspired just because everyone in it's so amazing. And yeah, so it's just a really amazing group of people, and it's just constantly growing still, which is amazing. Like, I can't even keep up with a lot of it, so.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Where do you want it to go? Where do you want Girl Gang to be at? Like, where do you see it 5 years from now?
So eventually I definitely want to have more of a space in the live show scene and like festival scene. So we just did a stage takeover at Wakan Fest, which was really cool.
Yeah, congrats. That's so cool.
It was amazing. I wasn't there, sadly, but it looked amazing.
Yeah.
And I definitely want to do that more. And then eventually I do want to turn it into a full record label with just consistent releases, but
wow,
that I think
that's like a whole other beast too.
Line.
Will you please show love to upstate New York and come to Syracuse?
Ooh, I am from upstate New York. Bill's Mafia. I would love to come to Syracuse, so hopefully soon.
Yes. Can we be BFFs? Also, not a question, but you're rad as hell.
That's really sweet. And yes,
you have like really dedicated and like loving fans.
Everyone is like really nice.
What's like your favorite fan encounter?
Ooh, I think anytime anyone gets a tattoo of my logo or art, I'm just like blown away.
Wait, how many tattoos of JEANIE have you seen?
I think it's 3 now, which some people have hundreds, but to me that's just like every time I'm like, this is insane.
Like just one?
Yeah.
That's crazy. What do you consider the ultimate comfort food? My favorite question.
So this is something I can't eat anymore, but, and I'm gonna get roasted by anyone that lives in New York for this, but Domino's pizza is my comfort food. I don't know.
Your comfort
yes.
food?
I don't know what it is, if I'm just like hungover or just don't feel good or I'm just like super lazy.
Even when you're sick, you get Domino's?
No, not when I'm sick.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, wow.
Okay, I guess that's more of like a hangover comfort meal, but if I'm sick, then like just the basics, like chicken soup, that sort of thing.
Oh, I see. Oh, that's so sad you can't have Domino's anymore.
I know.
You can't have Domino's anymore?
One day, maybe.
Do you have any other hobbies outside of music?
Yeah, so recently, and this is a very uncool hobby, but I got a Kindle, so I've been reading so much.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So what are you reading?
I'm reading this book called The Cabin at the End of the World that Must Die actually suggested, and it's just like a horror book, but it's really good.
Oh.
Yeah. So
The Cabin at the End of the World.
It's really dramatic.
Do you play any like video games or like do any like sports or anything?
No, I went through a brief Fortnite phase, which I got over that, so no more gaming for me.
That's really hard.
Yeah.
Your biggest pet peeve?
Ooh. I feel like I have a lot, so my pet peeve is, and this is probably pretty specific to LA, but when you're trying to switch into a lane and no one will let you, and it's like
why is that?
I don't
it's like
know.
We're all trying to get to the same place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're all going one direction. Like, why do you have to just let me through? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it will add maybe 3 seconds.
That's why I don't like driving in LA. I really don't.
It's scary.
Yeah. Do you have a go-to song?
Ooh, it definitely changes. I kind of will have a phase where I listen to the same 3 songs over and over. But right now it's probably Misery Business by Paramore.
Wow.
I'm listening to that a lot.
That brings me back.
Right? It's such a classic.
You can never get over that song.
Yeah. Did you hear, so she sang it with Billie Eilish recently, like Hayley Williams. It was incredible.
When? Where?
I think it was at like Coachella or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Some like festival, yeah.
Yo, Billie Eilish is... I'm her biggest fan.
I love her.
I love Billie Eilish so much. Her personality Like, she's a legend.
And she's like 20.
Yes.
I'm like, I don't even know.
Is she 20 now?
Yeah.
I thought she was like 12.
I know.
What is your most watched movie?
Ooh. I would say probably any of the Harry Potter movies.
Ah, Harry Potter.
They're like my go-to.
Harry Potter fan. Do you like Lord of the Rings?
I've actually only seen like half of one before. I know. I need to watch.
Only what?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
It's a classic movie.
I have to, like...
Half of one?
I know.
When was this?
I was like a kid, and I was watching it with a few friends, and then the power went out, so we just stopped watching.
And then you just never went. Wow.
Yeah. But I guess I have to, right?
You should.
Yeah, I will.
I'm gonna like I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna drag you to my place. You're gonna watch this movie.
I'm so down.
That makes me so sad.
I know.
What is your biggest fear? Oh, let's just wait for her. Hello. Oh, no problem.
Sidewalk Fam?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh. I'm confused. Did you think she knew, like, this is what it's called?
Yeah, she definitely knows.
Or she said sidewalk talk as in like, oh, you're on the sidewalk talking.
No, she knows.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like that would be such a weird thing to say otherwise.
I don't know. I feel like I would be like, oh, you're sidewalk talking.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
She totally knew.
That's so cool.
That
I
is
didn't even
really
know what to
cool.
say. Oh, did you see me just like, I was like, what?
What?
Or wait, biggest fear.
Biggest fear. I think my biggest fear is really just like my parents dying or like anyone really close to me dying, just because that's so, like, you never want to think about that, and like I never do, but
yeah, of course.
I would say, I guess that.
Oh, yeah. If you could have a superpower, what would it be?
Oh, for sure, teleportation.
Everyone says this.
Really?
Yes, it is. Why?
Just because traveling is so annoying, and like I don't want to.
What has been the highlight of your career?
Ooh. I think so far it was playing Thunderdome with Excision, which was like...
Ooh, Thunderdome with Excision?
Yeah, it was just my biggest show to date, and it was like 30,000 people, or maybe... No, it was like maybe 13,000, I don't know.
Holy moly.
But I just remember looking
Where is
out... it's in Washington, kind of near Seattle.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I just remember looking out into the crowd like halfway through my set and being like, wait, I need to take this in. And I was just like, holy shit. Like, it was just insane.
Wow.
So yeah, that was...
How much does just existing in the internet affect you?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
So it used to affect me a lot more, and I would really suffer with like imposter syndrome and comparison. But I've gotten a lot better at just making it easier for myself. So like I turn off my likes on Instagram.
Oh, good.
Which really helps.
That's actually really good advice.
Yeah, because then you're not like, oh, I got no likes on this post, I'm a failure. And it's like, it doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't.
now Instagram just like ruins everyone's algorithms anyway. I think also just like spending less time on social media is really beneficial to anyone's mental health.
Like, but how do you like adjust that mindset though? Because you can't just like overnight be like, oh, I'm going to stop going on social media so often.
I find actually, so I learned recently that whatever you do first thing in the morning will be your brain's source of like dopamine for the day. So if you check your phone first thing, your brain will want to check your phone all day. But if you spend literally like the first 20 minutes of your day not on your phone, I just feel like it makes you so much more calm and so much less inclined to actually just like sit on your phone.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it really works.
So what do you do the first minutes of your day? 20 minutes of your day?
Just like normal stuff, like get ready, make my bed, open my windows and get sunlight.
Do you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert?
I would say I'm an introvert for sure. I definitely need social interaction from time to time. Otherwise, I just will stay in my apartment. But yeah, I mean, I obviously love meeting people and doing stuff, but for the most part, I would consider myself an introvert.
Like, how many days out of the week are you pretty much like, are you going outside?
I mean, I definitely try and go outside like every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I don't.
Really?
I'm like a mega introvert, so like I go out maybe like once or twice out of the house. Biggest lesson you learned in the music industry?
Ooh. There are a few. I think the first one is just take what people say with a grain of salt. A lot of people, especially when you're younger, will try and make all these promises to you.
Right.
And not so much take advantage of you, but just like, I think take advantage of the fact that you're newer in the industry. So always just kind of trust your gut and go with what you think, and don't let other people dictate your career. And the second one too, which I wouldn't really say is a lesson, but I think you just quickly learn that it's a lot easier to get by when you're a genuine, nice person, and you look out for other people, because then they'll do the same thing for you. So.
I feel like a lot of people don't understand that good person part.
Yeah,
like
right?
they're so like I've met so many people that are just like, their egos are just so big they don't even want to interact with you because you're not on their level.
Yeah.
I get that a lot.
Really?
Like, yeah. You know, just be a good person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Be a good person.
Piece of advice you'd give to your teen self, and what would it be?
Ooh.
And why?
I would say just explore more things that you're interested in. I think when I was a teenager, I was kind of really lost and like didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But I also didn't really try and figure it out, because I just thought if it didn't come to me naturally, then it wasn't worth doing. So I would say that, but I mean, everything happens for a reason.
What is the top goal on your bucket list?
Ooh. That's a hard one. I would say to play Tomorrowland in Belgium. That's just
that
like,
would be crazy.
Yeah.
Best piece of advice you've ever received?
I think it's super simple, but just be a good person. Like, it's kind of cliche and
No, I
silly,
love this.
but yeah, I just
Be a
think
good
that's like
person.
such an important thing. And it's not always obviously easier to be like the bigger person, but I just kind of try and live my life by that.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
You have such good vibes.
Thanks. So
Last one. What's next for Jeannie?
Ooh. What is next for me?
Yeah.
Lot more music, a lot more shows, and just, I really want to use this next year to kind of grow as an artist and really grow my production and work with more vocalists and different artists and just kind of expand the whole production side of things. So
Wow,
yeah,
that's amazing.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, Jeannie, thank you so much for being a part of this channel and doing this interview.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're gonna go eat now.
Yep.
Yep.
Gotta go. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.